against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Okay, guys, welcome back, everyone. Anonymous Bytes back. Asia episode 9. The main subject is Nepal and the MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation. Something big is going on there, and we are pretty sure that you guys have never heard of it before, outside of Nepal. So this is going to be a very interesting episode, and I want to ask all of you to share this everywhere, because that's what we depend on, and you guys know that we're all being like shadow banned and censored on different social media, so we need your help on that. And uh, we might make this one like a shorter episode, just to give like an introduction into all of this, and then we discuss. Perhaps tomorrow we discuss it much longer and give more details, but uh, yeah, we couldn't wait any longer with just exposing this information to you. So because it's very important. We have anonymous Nepal guys in to help us out with this, because they know a lot more about this, of course. Up Nepal, and yeah, welcome. Anyway, guys.
Welcome, guys.
Okay, well, they will probably be back soon again. Yeah, you have to actually say something. Well, it's okay. We can give some intro already about this.
Uh, we can go over from the introduction of Nepal.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because you know best about this. Maybe you want to say something about this whole MCC thing. What is going on? That would maybe be the best thing. We can also play that audio clip after that. That is a good introduction too.
Uh, from the introduction of Nepal. It's like the MCC. They are promising us to increase the availability of resources, jobs, and all. And they are saying that they will improve the condition of people here. They will eliminate the poverty and that stops. But the harsh reality is that the USA is planning a strategy to uh, to improve their markets and
But what you mean to say is the USA is just planning like economic takeover or whatever of Nepal resources and Nepal economy, right? Something like that.
yeah. They are trying to take over our resources and all, and this is a strategy to uh, make their empire bigger. Like they are spreading their uh, empire to other countries like Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, and now we have it's the turn of Nepal. So we are not letting it happen anyway. We are coming with our strength. We are coming up with our weapons and all. We won't let it happen.
Okay, no, of course not. Of course, you have to fight for your rights, and so you're expecting that many Nepalese will actually rise up against this. They will actually have like protest and some resistance against this.
Uh, we are having the protest, but at first we have to make people aware about this present situation of Nepal. So we are doing it through this live stream, and we
Yeah, I understand because I personally I didn't even hear about any of this, right? Like our media is not reporting about this. Our media is not talking about this. So we really depend on you guys to give us the information. So because we can of course get it out. I mean we can make sure many people learn about this, but like our media is not talking about this again, of course. So I know I know Amber has been reading into this subject like for entire nights now, so she will know something about this too. But, do do you want?
Um, Actually, this is the intro part, so I'm not so sure how deep we should go into it. But maybe it is useful to see, give information to listeners that this is actually named corporation, and it's a government site. It's fully operative, and it's also on the White House. And in the intro, it is defined on their site as it's an independent U.S. government foreign aid agency, and it forms partnership with developing countries that are committed to good governance, economic freedom, and investing in their citizens. It gives grants to these countries, and actually on their site on MCC Gov, you can see the amounts given to these countries, which countries are taking it, and these countries' current situations like um, pending, started, cancelled, closed, such things. And there are many, many countries. It's actually shocking that this project has been going on since 2005, and um, not many people know about it if you ask around.
uh, what we have here is MCC. How does it work? We have to know about it first. MCC signs a compact or a threshold agreement with the partner country, and it has some terms and conditions for the agreement. Through they are providing grants. It will be numerated according to the points scored by a certain country for selection criteria indicators. So what it does is it looks for a country having a good governance and all, and I really think that USA is looking for a country that has a big market in it, like we have India. So they are trying to reach to the India through Nepal, and they are building the train transportation, and they are improving the transportation to reach to the India, where there is a big market and they can flourish their product all over there.
Yes, and they are doing it in such an intrusive way that they actually directly put pressure on the government.
Yeah. They are legally selling the country, and they are trading. I I have no words to say.
I would like to read a couple of law agreements, law agreement suggestions. If it passed through the parliament, they would be a bill or law. So let's see what it says shortly, because this is important to see what they are doing to governments under the actually foreign aid project. It says here, America will hold right on all intellectual properties. Only American company can audit the project. Yes, actually, they call this company. It's not a government, it's a company. American government can cancel this agreement anytime. So we can see that it is a government, it's by the government, but it's also called company. If any of the points written on this agreement and the constitution of Nepal are controversial to one another, then the points from this agreement will be followed. Nepalese government must take permission from MCC before deploying any personal or governmental agency. Nepal government must send reliable and trustworthy plans, and they must be acknowledged by the Indian government. And in this part, you can see that it also takes permission from the Indian government. So it means that Nepal won't be a sovereign country anymore, and it will actually lose its independence. It won't be an independent country anymore. It would have to ask permission from governments of India and US.
Okay.
This, this didn't pass as a bill yet. It is being tried to be brought into the parliament, but the MPs isn't succeeded yet, let's say so.
Okay, should we go ahead, sorry.
And also we can say that there is a huge amount of money given to these governments in exchange for passing these laws. For the Nepal government, the amount suggested for this is 50 million US dollars.
So we can raise over a question like why should MCC be stopped? So what's the real reason to stop it? So uh, we have MCC like they when they will exploit the resources present in our country. After that, we will have a very huge loss in economical condition in our country, and gradually, like 10 years, our country will be turning into so poor and helpless country like the present condition of Ethiopia. So people will not get the proper food and nutrients, so they will gradually get weaker, so it's easy for United States to conquer over our country. So it's a planned strategy to to make it success. So we don't want someone begging for food from after some years. So it should be stopped. We have no other options. We cannot let them in.
That's right, because if they are let in, it means that Nepal will lose sovereignty and it won't be a sovereign country.
Yeah.
Yes, it is said that people, when two people are left in a jungle without food for 10 days, then they will kill each other and eat another's one corpse. So, like this case, we will have internal conflicts and wars in our country. So, one and another people will fight for food. For stomach, they have to do everything they can possibly to live and survive. So we are going to face different kinds of violence and wars and blood splatters everywhere because of this MCC. So I regard itself as a demonic agreement. So
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think what the listeners need to understand is that there are, of course, multiple types of, multiple methods to wage a war, to get influence on over other countries, and it is not always just military. There is also a form you can call like economic warfare, right? And for the United States or other big countries to get influence over over countries like Nepal. They use these things, like in this case the MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation, and they of course will hand out money to things that interest them, infrastructure projects that interest them. These are usually loans, and if they can't be repaid, then of course the power goes to the people who actually provided the money. And you have we've seen this in, for example, in it's maybe unrelated, but it's like in Africa we see China doing this, gives out loans to poor countries in Africa, and when they can't repay the loan, then China will just say, okay, well, if you can't repay it, then just give us your harbor, or just give us your islands. And for now,
Exactly.
so, and that is then what the countries like the United States attempt to do too. And like our guest from Nepal says, like they're interested in creating infrastructure to big countries like China, and like to big countries like India, and they will create like railroads and all these things to these countries. And yeah, they will. This is their way of doing it in Nepal. And the thing is, these people don't care about the humans actually living there, and about their human rights, and about their own country. So they only care about themselves and their own benefits and making profit, of course. So as we see this another.
I would like to express something. If the political condition of our country was stable, I mean good governance, I don't think so. Our country has a good governance till now because all the people are corrupt over here, and they will do corruption for each and everything, for making roads, for making any infrastructures and development works. So I don't really think that the grants provided by MCC will be utilized properly to develop our country, because all the politicians are busy filling their stomach, and they don't care about other people's. So it's a pathetic condition here. We do not trust our government, so we cannot accept this agreement.
No, of course not. Of course you can't accept it. And even if you would trust your government, then even if you research into this whole project, and still you would lose all the trust in it, right? I mean, it is very simple to see what they are attempting, and it is a country from the outside, the USA, that is historically doing this to many countries around the world. You're not the first country they do this to, and that is their way of getting influence. They don't need to send any soldiers in. They just bribe. They just send money in, and it is actually cheaper for them than the whole soldiers thing, right? So it's very happy you guys are actually informing us about all of this, because most of the international communities are unaware of this, and it is really necessary that we spend at least like the coming weeks or months on educating people about this. So this today is a
Definitely.
good intro to it.
Yes, and definitely. Also, it shows that all of these countries which was involved in this project over the years since 2005 never objected to that. We never heard from their people. So this is the first time actually, and it shows that Nepalese people are actually fully aware of what is going on. If we mention some other
Thank you, host,
countries
for
which
this.
are involved in this project since 2005, several African countries, several Latin American countries like Paraguay, Peru, Nicaragua, Honduras, Asian countries like Philippines, Indonesia, and also from East European countries like Armenia, Albania, also Middle Eastern countries like Jordan, So we can see that it's all over the place. For example, Ukraine also is in there. So it seems they are trying to expand. Uh, in the second part, we should also mention that these are also in the Chinese strategical points. So this should be digged into too.
You're right, because that of course causes the USA to be even more interested in it.
Definitely.
So, Mark, I guess we can play that audio that we have got, like, to raise the awareness of people. So we can do it now.
Okay.
Thank you host for this lovely opportunity to express my thoughts in this live stream, Anonymous Bites Back. At first I would like to talk about our country Nepal. Nepal is a peaceful country present in Asia. A landlocked country surrounded by India and China. Now I am moving towards the current problem in our country. A agreement called the MCC Nepal Compact has promised to increase the availability of electricity and lower transportation costs, helping to spur investments, accelerate economic growth, and reduce poverty. But the reality of MCC is the worst part. It has victimized the countries like Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan and many more. The outcome of MCC is not peace but violence everywhere, war, blood splatters, and even more dangerous thing, we will become refugees in our own country. According to Article 7 Section 7.1. The government will proceed in a timely manner to complete all of its domestic requirements for this compact to enter into force. The parties understand that this compact, upon entry into force, will prevail over the domestic laws of Nepal. Meaning that it would be superior to the constitution, none of the internal laws can act into it. Nepal is a democratic country and the citizens have the right to choose between right and wrong. But in context of Nepal, no any formal information and knowledge was given to the citizens before implementation of this agreement. Dear Nepali citizens, we should not let our dumb politicians to sell our country, sell our pride, sell our history, and sell ourselves. We should raise our voice, sharpen our weapons, and gather strength to fight against it. If this agreement is implemented then, our childrens will beg for food in coming 10 years, our governmental system, laws, freedom will be ruined completely. In order to save Nepal and our generation, we must fight against it. If we won't stop this, the sacrifices of our martyrs, Arad Chand, Dharma Bhakta Mathema, Gangalal Shrestha, and many more will go in vain. Our history will vanish in thin air. It's the time, now or never. We have to save our country, our citizens, our generations, and ourselves from this slowly creeping danger. I would rather call MCC as demonic agreement. Now we should come out of shelters with arms, weapons, voice, and bravery to save our country. We are not alone, we are legions, we are many, we are anonymous, expect us. Thank you for the time. It's brute force here.
Okay, guys. So we finished the audio clip. It was playing. Okay, guys. So we finished
This
the
is a
audio
big
clip.
subject, so there's a lot to talk about, and we have a lot to still research and read. We have to update our listeners about the protests going on and what is happening in the Nepalese government now regarding these law proposals. So in the second part, we will have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and to listeners, I want to ask, please research into this thing that is the MCC and the Nepal situation.
Their main site is mcc.gov. It's a government site. It is fully operative, and you can see that it's also directly linked to White House. The CEO is also assigned by Trump government directly. You can see all of it on their main site.
The number one rule of you are searching for freedom, and you don't get a freedom that easy. You have to fight against it. Now what you have to do is you should go to a point that you don't care anyone any law. I don't mean you do violence and war stuffs. I just mean that you fight for your freedom. You do not care what the Lord says to you and what other people think about you. When you don't give a damn about what others think about you, then you will reach the extreme level of freedom. What that means is that we should feel free to protest and raise our voices against the injustice that is happening to us. So we should leave our shelters, homes, and come to the road to protest against the injustice we are facing. So it will definitely help for the progress and the mission we are trying to do. That is hashtag OPMCC. So I hope all the guys will cooperate for this particular mission by protesting and uh, protecting the freedom and all the stuffs of the people. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining.
Yes, thank you, and of course, so we'll go live to again tomorrow, I guess, and explain a little bit more. And like what I said in the meantime, the for listeners that you have to research so you know what this is about. When we talk about this, the MCC, that's Millennium Challenge Corporation. Amber already mentioned the website for them, and research what this is and their direct connections with the White House, and how they are trying to get influence now in another country, another sovereign country that is now being, well, is now under attack, right? So we can actually do something about this, and the most important thing is we educate everyone about what is going on. That means we put the eyes on these people, and that is then that helps to if everyone actually sees what is going on, then they will become limited in their movements, and they will have to adapt to that. And then that's what we will do, the education, and then next to that we will of course help the people to protest against this, and we want to ask every one of you to help the people in Nepal to stand up against this. We know you guys are like millions and millions around the world, and everyone, especially these people, deserve our help and deserve your help before the, before this MCC thing actually before it is too late to stop them. So thanks everyone for listening. Please share this far and wide, and we'll be back tomorrow about this, and we'll keep you updated for the coming weeks, months, like as long as it's needed to actually stop this. We will we will work on this, and our brothers and sisters from Nepal, they are ready, and they are looking to fight back, and they were very enthusiastic to speak out about this, and well, they deserve all the help you can give them. So uh, like tomorrow we'll also like mention like places you can get in touch with them to join them, and to like meet with them and like plan actions to be taken. Like of course they will have like protest days and events and all these things. So uh, we will update you about all these things. We will have like a big discussion tomorrow if the others are also ready to jump in. I mean, and like I said, in the meantime, please
Yes.
research what is this and tell me.
Yes, we can have a big conversation, more deep conversation about this particular thing, MCC, tomorrow. So, guys, stay tuned to this live stream. Uh, so, what will be the time of next live stream tomorrow? Can you inform about that?
I see Amber posting 21:15 Nepal time. I guess 21:15.
Okay, it's around 9:15.
Is that okay
Around
for
nine
you or?
fifteen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's very good time.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so can we exit from this chat room?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll just say real quick. Please share this. This matters for this is like a short intro we'll do into this, and share this around and research into MCC, please. So because then you can forward some questions you have tomorrow to the guys from Nepal, because they know everything about this and they can answer this. So you can just send us any questions, and then it would be good. So okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you for listening.